I call this meeting of the Duncanville Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Do I have a motion to authorize the superintendent to take action on the Toyota property as discussed in closed session?
So moved.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. Moving on, do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for the principal of Hardin Intermediate?
So moved.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for the Director of Transportation?
So moved. Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions? Please raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation of the head boys basketball coach?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. Moving right along. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation to extend one-year term contracts to the listed employees for the 2018-2019 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. And again, do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation to extend one-year probationary contracts to the listed employees for the 2018-2019 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation to extend one-year non-certified professional contracts to the listed employees for the 2018-2019 school year? So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendations to take no action on the contracts of the listed employees for the 2018-2019 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any questions?
Who made the motion?
Somebody down there, Phil.
Phil?
What, excuse me,
Wake up.
Bill and Tom?
Am I going too fast?
No, you're good.
Okay. Any discussion? Raise your right hand. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. And last but not least, do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation to propose non-renewal of the term contract employees as presented and authorizes the superintendent to give notice of proposed non-renewal to listed employees in accordance with board policy DFBB local?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions? Raise your right hand. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. Now I'll pass it over to Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'll call up our Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Kathleen Brown, to introduce the new members of the Duncanville ISD team.
Okay. Good evening, President McNeely, Board of Trustees, Dr. Smith. It is my pleasure to introduce our new staff members to you on this evening. First, I'd like to introduce our new Director of Transportation, Mr. Brad Hamrick. Mr. Hamrick brings over 27 years of experience to his new role. He has served in almost every capacity in a transportation department, which makes him an ideal leader for this job. In addition to his many years in the private sector in transportation, he brings school district experience from Allen ISD, Rockwall ISD, and Duncanville ISD. One of the things that Mr. Hamrick loves about Duncanville is our commitment to the PAC. He is excited to rejoin a team where professionalism, accountability, and communication are part of the culture of the organization. Mr. Hamrick also believes in building the capacity of his team and is committed to safely transporting Duncanville ISD students to and from school each day by staff that are committed to being a part of writing success stories one student at a time. Welcome home to our new Director of Transportation, Mr. Brad Hamrick.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Been gone for a short period of time, but I appreciate Dr. Smith and everybody giving me an opportunity to come back and support and serve the students of Duncanville and move transportation forward in a positive manner. Thank you.
Next, our new principal of Hardin Intermediate, Mrs. Melanie Lewis. Mrs. Lewis is the new principal at Hardin Intermediate School. She is a dynamic instructional leader who started her career in education as a custodian at an elementary school. She was committed to building her career in education and later became a Spanish teacher. Since that time, she has served as an academic dean, Title I facilitator, athletic director, assistant principal, dean of instruction, and most recently an associate principal at Lake Ridge High School in Mansfield ISD. Mrs. Lewis was recently featured in a video which highlighted her unconventional path to instructional leadership. She believes that it is never too late to follow your dreams and inspires students to follow their dreams on a daily basis. Mrs. Lewis is committed to promoting a safe and academic challenging environment for every student at Hardin Intermediate School. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Mrs. Melanie Lewis.
Dr. Smith, Board of Trustees, Senior Leadership Team, I am so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you for affording me this opportunity to serve the students, the parents, the faculty and staff in Duncanville. I am excited about being able to add a chapter to the success stories for Duncanville ISD.
Now, our new head boys basketball coach, Coach David Peavy. Coach Peavy joins the Duncanville ISD team as our new head boys basketball coach. He brings over 22 years of successful coaching experience at both the high school and collegiate level. He started his career in 1996 as an assistant women's basketball coach at the University of the Incarnate Word. He went into public education and coaching in 1998 as a physical education and health teacher, as well as an assistant and then head boys basketball coach until 2006. At that time, Coach Peavy joined the Stephen F. Austin basketball staff as an assistant men's basketball coach. He was later named the head boys basketball coach and athletic coordinator for Aikens High School in Austin, Texas. Most recently, Coach Peavy has served as the head boys basketball coach at Decaney High School in Spring ISD. He won Coach of the Year in 2003, 2004, and 2018. He has also served on the Texas Association of Basketball Coaches All-State Committee for 2 years. Coach Peavy believes in developing leaders and promoting discipline on and off the court. He is excited to join the Duncanville team and is committed to building a championship team of character, class, and one that gives total effort. We are excited to have Coach David Peavy join us as our new head boys basketball coach.
I want to thank Coach Harper, Dr. Smith, everybody on the board. I'm very excited about getting started. Coach McNeely, I want to take this program back to where you built it, and want to do it quickly. Very excited for myself and my family. Thank you.
And while Coach Peavy is shaking hands, our new staff members have some family members here, and at this time, I would ask for them to stand. Ms. Lewis's husband, Mr. Lewis, and Coach Peavy's son. Welcome.
We will now move into the invocation. Mr. Veracruz, would you please lead us in the invocation?
Heavenly Father, once again, Lord, we come forward to you with just an open heart and open mind. Lord, we know that to whom much is given, much is required, and we accept the responsibility, Lord, as we know the Holy Spirit will guide us. Lord, we accept our new team members, Lord, and their families, and we ask for prayer and the hedge of protection upon them as they begin their journey in Duncanville. Lord, as always, we pray for the safety of our children from the moment they're picked up to the moment they're safely dropped home, and everyone involved in the process. In your mighty name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Next, we have a student from Pace High School, and his principal, would you please come up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? And Mr. Butcher, could you please say a word before we do that about this young man?
Come up here. Good evening. My name is Keith Butcher, principal here at Pace High School. This is Wyatt Border. Wyatt is a senior at Pace, and we expect him to graduate in May, hopefully in the 3rd or 4th week of May. He is also an Eagle Scout, and he will be duly commissioned. He's a card carrying Eagle Scout right now, but he's going to go through a ceremony here in the next couple weeks. And we would like to go ahead and do the pledge for you.
Congratulations on the Eagle Scout.
Thank you so much for that. We now move into recognitions. Ms. Richard?
Good evening, President McNeely, Board of Trustees, Dr. Smith. It's always an honor to stand before you and get an opportunity to recognize the great things happening in our district and the great people that are making them happen. So first, we'll start with Made with Pride, and we'll start with our Teacher of the Month, Ms. Lindsay Fortner. All right, so Made with Pride in Duncanville is a huge honor, and Lindsay Fortner is our Teacher of the Month. She is a second grade teacher at Alexander Elementary, and she was nominated by their new principal, Miss Erin Fry. Ms. Fortner uses interactive lessons to engage her students' whole selves into every lesson. She makes students feel welcome. There is a positivity and warmth and a smile in every interaction, and if you've ever been into her classroom, you feel it. And I think when you see this video shown about our Made with Pride honorees, you'll feel a little bit of that. She seeks ways to connect with students and help them grow and mature, and part of that is learning responsibility, which her students don't even realize that they're doing as they help take care of Gus, the class guinea pig. Beyond her classroom walls, Ms. Fortner is someone who contributes to the school as a whole. She helps lead their Sunshine Committee. She's a major contributor in second grade weekly PLC data and planning sessions. She is a teacher who definitely helps write success stories one student at a time at Alexander Elementary. So I'm proud to recognize Ms. Lindsay Fortner as our Made with Pride in Duncanville Teacher of the Month. Thank you. Up next, we have our Staff of the Month, Ms. Rebecca Clark. Ms. Clark actually could not be here today, but I did want to make sure that we spent some time recognizing her, and that way you knew what you were seeing in the video at the end of our presentation. Ms. Clark, who is a special education aide at Central Elementary, was nominated by the principal, Ms. Sherry Smith. Ms. Clark performs her classroom duties professionally and can always be counted on to be prepared and diligent with instruction. When we went to the classroom to surprise her and recognize her, she had placed a sheet over a play area and made a bear cave for her pre-K students. So she had a flashlight, she was standing there in the dark with them and helping them find the bears. They had paper trees that were laying over the chairs so that they were hunting in the forest for their bears. So she makes it an engaging environment. We didn't want to leave, honestly. We were having such a great time in her classroom, and I'm sure her students feel the same way. She just makes she makes learning so much fun for those little ones. For several years, she's worked as Central's driveway monitor. Through the heat, rain, snow, and sleet, she makes sure that students get to and from the school safely into the doors. She's a vital member of the school team, and they were so honored for the opportunity to recognize her as their Made with Pride Duncanville Staff of the Month. And last but not least, we have our Student of the Month, Mr. R.J. Vigil. So RJ is a third grade student at Hyman Elementary. He was nominated by his teacher, Miss Kate Loggeman. She describes RJ as a kind soul. He shows empathy way beyond his years. He's really a people person. Anytime that someone does something great in class, he's one of the first people to really cheer them on and comfort them whenever they're sad. He helps and assists teachers and classmates at every opportunity. And he also personally just always finds a way to figure out how he can do better and improve. RJ recently won the science fair for Hyman and represented them at the district. He works very hard every day and takes pride in his work, and he's also a member of the Hyman Student Choir and also the Hyman Student Council. So our Made with Pride in Duncanville Student of the Month is Mr. R.J. Vigil. And as they're doing their photos, we have a short video to show you just a little bit more about each of our honorees this evening.
Duncanville ISD congratulates the following student, staff member, and teacher who were made with pride in Duncanville.
My favorite subject is math. I get to do subtracting and adding, and I get to multiply, divide too. it makes me sad when I see other people sad. I clap for people when they need to be cheered, and it makes them feel good.
I'm very willing to help whenever I can. I want to serve the best I can. I love the little kids. They're so sweet. I like being able to get down on the floor with them, interact with them, engage them, get them to talk more. I want to show them love and just bring out whatever I can in them.
We watch a TED Talks every year where it shows that students do not learn from people that they do not like. I took that to heart. I try very hard to make my kids feel welcome. Everyone is able to learn even if we aren't learning the same thing, and to have a positive attitude. We all are fighting the same battle, so why not do it with a smile? These honorees truly are made with pride in Duncanville.
Thank you, Ms. Richard.
In addition, this month we're also recognizing our Bus Driver of the Year, Mr. Gary Young. All right, I gave Gary a hard time. I didn't know if he came for the recognition or to find out who the new Director of Transportation was. Yeah. So, Mr. Young, as I said, is our Bus Driver of the Year. Essentially, this is an honor that your coworkers, your peers choose of you. They say that he is well respected, takes pride in getting students safely to and from school. In conjunction with risk management and the district's insurer, Property Casualty Alliance of Texas, each year the district selects a Bus Driver of the Year. And that criteria includes leadership, attitude, perseverance, student and parent relationships, and technical skills. Mr. Young knows every route, can drive any of the various buses operated by the district, and is a great example to other drivers. And if you were there the day that he was recognized and heard the hard time and how everyone gave him a really hard time, but really a lot of love, yeah. Whenever he was recognized and announced as the Bus Driver of the Year, it's obvious that you do a lot for others and take care of your team as a whole. So for that, we truly, truly thank you. So Mr. Young will now advance to the state level where he'll compete against other bus drivers from across the state of Texas and represent Duncanville ISD as our Bus Driver of the Year. Thank you, sir.
Could I just say while he's shaking everyone's hand that we saved the last till last, and I apologize for that because what I always say is those people are the first faces that our kids see every morning, and we don't know, we cannot measure the importance of that. And so I thank y'all for that. Thank you, Ms. Richard. Now I may go on. We will now move into the superintendent's report. Dr. Smith?
All right, thank you, Madam President. This evening I have just a few items that I'd like to report, update the board on. First, I'd like to recognize students that participated in the Special Olympics for Duncanville ISD, the 2017-2018 state and national teams. They participated in sailing and kayaking and track and field. We do have some of those athletes here tonight, and so I'm going to call their names. Brooke Allen, Tyler Dotson, Miss Tierra, Keona Gilstrap. Is Keona here this evening? Tia Wright, Ryan, there we go. Ryan Pollitt. Maria Childers, Matthew Hernandez. You got a lot of medals around your neck, Matthew. I heard you when you stood up. Dre Hampton. And Shay Jones. So, board, in October, 4 Duncanville athletes competed in the sailing and kayaking. Earlier this month, 7 of our athletes qualified for state in track and field, and so they were led by Sharon Presley, who has coached our Special Olympics team. Get this. She has coached the Special Olympics team for 35 years. And so during her tenure, she's not seen a school team drop below the 1-minute mark on the 4x100 relay. And this year, the team ran a 59.7. They were the first team to do this. And Ms. Presley just described the relay team and all of the athletes as just beautiful to watch. And so I wanted to recognize our special athletes this evening. The next item that I have for you is just an update on the HEB Excellence in Education Award that our district just recently, we were just notified that we are semifinalists. Keep in mind, this was the first application that we submitted. This is an annual award that is given by HEB for school districts that demonstrate excellence in innovation programming, in student achievement, parent and community involvement, and professional development opportunities for teachers and administrators. There were over 1,400 applications submitted, and only 25 school districts were chosen as semifinalists, and we were one of the 25 across the state. So we're really proud of this. It's a result of the hard work of our team and our leaders, our campus principals that are helping us to really implement the kind of programs that are bringing attention to our district. And so we really appreciate that. In addition to that, we hope now to be finalists. That's our next goal. I think we're on the radar now, and we're working our way to that final status. The next item that I have for you is the 2018-2019 Early College High School designation. You may be familiar or aware or remember the document that I submitted to you all, I guess maybe a couple of weeks ago. It was the memo from Mike Morath, the Commissioner of Texas Education Agency. And so there's an application process that we have to go through, and so we got notification that we were approved for the 18-19 school year as an early college high school. It's been a long time coming, really proud of that. So what is an early college high school? It's a high school where there's innovation going on there at the high school, and particularly creating college opportunities for the least likely students to attend college. And so what we kind of know is that at-risk population is going to give us an opportunity to expand a lot of the good work that's already going on so that our students can earn college credit while they are in high school. And so we're really proud of that distinction. And we'll continue to prepare ourselves for that. There are a few things that we have to kind of check off the list as we move into the 18-19 school year. The last item that I have for you is just an update on last week's STAR testing. I had a lot of testing going on last week. We tested over 5,000 students, over 5,400 plus students. We're taking various tests last week, and overall, the testing ran smoothly on all of our campuses. Obviously, that's a result of the hard work of our amazing faculty, our principals, their support staff. We did experience, just as other districts across the state, a shutdown on the online testing. You may have heard that in the news last week. And so our system went down for about 11:30, at about 11:30 rather, and was down for about 40 minutes. And so those students were able to log back in, complete their tests within the allotted time, and so we don't believe at this point that there were any answers that were lost as a result of the power outage. We'll resume again in the first 3 weeks in May. So we'll start our testing back, several EOC in reading, math, science, algebra 2, et cetera. So we had a good first round of testing and looking forward to an even better second round of testing. So that concludes the superintendent's report this evening. I'll turn it back over to Madam President.
We will now consider approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion? Carla?
Yes, I move to take items 6A and 6C to the consent agenda.
Do I have a second? The motion has been made and seconded to move items A and C to the consent agenda. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. Now, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. We will now move into the action agenda. We will move to item B, resolution for police, the Duncanville Police Department. B? Presenter, Mr. Nix.
President McNeely, members of the board, Dr. Smith, good evening. It is my absolute pleasure to present to you for your consideration a resolution authorizing the commissioning of peace officers in the Duncanville Independent School District. As you are well aware, Duncanville Independent School District has partnered with the Dallas County Schools for a number of years and to provide school resource officers for our district. And housed at each one of our secondary campuses was a school resource officer, but for the purpose of securing and providing support for our entire district. After Dallas County voted to shut down Dallas County schools in November of 2017, Duncanville ISD had to find another police department to partner with for police services until a decision could be made relating to the police services for the district. After reviewing various options, it's the recommendation of administration for Duncanville ISD to commission peace officers to create a Duncanville ISD Police Department. In light of the numerous concerns being faced across this nation regarding student safety, our district is extremely appreciative of the support that we have received from Mansfield Independent School District Police Department. They have supported us, and as a result of the dissolvement of the Dallas County Schools, we were reduced from 8 officers to 3. However, the demands, the security risk, the emergency issues remain constant. In the month of February, there were 264 emergency calls for SROs, just in Duncanville Independent School District. In the month of March, there were 190 calls, emergency calls, for SROs. And so 3 officers did the best that they could to respond to those calls and to support our students, our community, our schools. The national recommendation is 1 SRO for every 1,000 students. We currently have 3 SROs for approximately 13,000 students. Although Mansfield Independent School District officers conduct multiple campus visits, only about 5% of our campus has full-time SROs. Creating a police department within Duncanville ISD will help provide a safe school and work environment for our students, our staff, and for our community. Peace officers will perform law enforcement duties as determined by the board, which will include protecting the safety and the welfare of any person in the officer's jurisdiction and protecting the property of the district. The first step in creating a police department is to hire a chief of police. As required by the Texas Education Code 37.018, the chief of police will be accountable to the superintendent and will report directly to the superintendent. It is our recommendation that passing a resolution authorizing the commissioning of peace officers at Duncanville ISD and to hire a chief of police. I've also been informed that Chief Lisa Womack is here to support us in answering any questions that we may have about our partnership with Mansfield or about what that process may look like. And so at this time, it would be my pleasure to entertain any questions that you may have.
I just want to add, and I shared it with the board earlier, if Ms. Womack is here and she's from Mansfield, that I had an opportunity to talk to some of the our staff that had been with Dallas a couple of weekends ago, and I want to thank them.
Ms. Womack?
I just wanted to say thank you because they were very complimentary of the efforts that you all had done for us and for them. And I just wanted you to know, y'all kind of went above and beyond your call, but they've been very, very supportive and helpful. They had all kinds of good things to say about y'all.
Chair McNeely, I will take that as a sincere thank you very much for that, but you're actually thanking the wrong Chief Womack.
Oh, okay.
So I'm retired Chief Lisa Womack, and the Duncanville Independent School District has retained us to assist you in setting up your own police department.
Okay,
so I'm in that capacity.
Okay.
The Chief Womack you're wanting to thank is also here,
Okay,
and that would be
Who's
that would be
that?
that would
Not
be
that
Chief
big.
Jimmy Womack of the Mansfield
Okay,
Independent School District.
I just want you to know that our people said thank you, and it's been a great transition.
They mistake us for each other all the time.
Yeah, I bet they do.
But I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about the process of setting up the police department. It has been our pleasure. Dr. T. Bowman and I have been assisting with your staff in moving this forward, along with working with the Mansfield Independent School District, who, from the observer, I will say they have done a yeoman's job for y'all to keep y'all up and running. So the thank you to the Mansfield School District is absolutely appropriate. But I will answer any questions about the process of where we are at in creating your new police department if you have any.
Are there any questions?
The chief's job was posted this week, or last week. It was middle of last week, last Wednesday. Applications are already being accepted. They are going through your Human Resources Department, and resumes and applications will be forwarded to Dr. Bowman and myself.
Absolutely, we'll make sure to get that to you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do I have a motion to consider approval of the resolution for the Duncanville Police Department?
So moved.
The motion has been moved and seconded by Joe. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those, okay. All those, motion passes 6-0. We will now move into action item D, resolution for the Duncanville ISD tax rate, presented by Dr. Bigby. He presented the other one.
Dr. Bigby, if you just could review the fact that we have the resolution,
Right.
kind of brief description of last week.
Yeah, as we talked at the budget workshop about the possibility of a TRE, we felt like it was probably a good thing to have on record that the board was supporting that before we started out. Where, as you know, our timetable is pretty tight as far as beginning to get the information out to the public. So our thought here is with the board's support, then we have that in writing and we can move forward quickly.
Questions? You did a great job the other night of explaining it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Melissa did most of the drawings, so that, I'm as creative as a rock.
I'm very
so.
visual, and it really helped with all of that. Do I have a motion to consider approval of the resolution for the Duncanville ISD tax rate?
So moved.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes 6-0. We will now move to the information discussion agenda items. The first item is the Advanced Academic Services presented by Dr. Hernandez.
Good evening, President McNeely, board members, and Dr. Smith. As part of our continued conversation on Goal Focus 1, focus on student learning, this evening we're bringing a presentation to you on Advanced Academic Services, and our Director of Advanced Academic Services, Ms. Nanika Bernard, is going to be presenting for us this evening.
Good evening, Board President, board members, Dr. Smith. I'm excited to just kind of recap some of the things we've done this year in advanced academics and where we'd like to go for next year. As you know, our advanced academic students have the opportunity in every school, regardless if it's traditional or innovative schools, to participate in some of our programs. So we're excited that wherever our students are, we give them that opportunity to have those extensions. And so a huge part of our department is our GT department, our gifted and talented students. And we have what we think is an improved identification process at the beginning of the year. And last year we looked at some systems, and we wanted to make sure we made some opportunities available for all of our students. So we looked at neighboring districts. And so we put some systems in place. Instead of just testing students once a year, we now test them twice. So there's a fall testing process and then a spring testing process. That gave us an opportunity to look at students, especially in the younger ages, that needed to mature a little bit to be able to sit, excuse me, that long. It also gave us an opportunity to work with teachers and principals and even parents. We had quite a few parent meetings this year just to reach out to them and give them the opportunity to learn more about our processes. And so we were excited that this year we began with 262 students who were identified from K through 6. And so as of now, we've added another students to, we now sit at 333 identified students at K through 6. And so we're excited about that. We're still looking and researching and finding ways to make it a better process for our families and for our students and teachers. So we're continuing to grow. We want to make sure that we give those students the best. And so thank you all for giving us 3 Gait Specialists this year. Those ladies have been very busy. Just a little bit about what they do. Each specialist is supporting 4 campuses this year. So essentially they're on a campus every day. They're excited to build relationships with those campuses, and they're doing an amazing job getting to know their Gait students, the admin staff, the campus personnel, and also those families. So they do a great job of getting around. But they assist campuses with making clusters. They make sure those kids get the opportunities to work together. They make sure the teachers are identified and certified, and they are working on professional development with those teachers. They pull those students once a week. The state says they want us to make sure those students have what they call an array of services. So things like, you've probably heard about our Innovation Day this year, a lot of projects, a lot of extensions. Some of our schools have been very fortunate to bring in presenters and garden clubs and different things. So our Gait kids are doing a lot of those things. And so, again, just working with making sure that teachers get the professional development they need and that they are certified, and counselors as well. At the secondary level, our Gait students are serviced through our pre-AP and AP program. Now, what's cool about this program for us is that it not only services the Gait students, but it's open access for any student who is interested in taking on the challenge of pre-AP and AP. And so we really, really are focusing on building an advanced academics culture and not just classes. We want to make sure those students and teachers and, again, those families know what the potential is for those students and can prepare for college, which is what those courses are really about. Some considerations are tiered College Board teacher training. We're working on making sure that we have a systematic way of making sure the teachers get the training they need to be able to deliver that content the way it needs to be done. Inclusion of College Board curriculum. We're looking at ways to raise that rigor. We have the TEACS resource system, but there are some resources available for our teachers and students to use that College Board prepares. We're incorporating the MAPS curriculum, and that's methodology for academic and personal success. Some neighboring districts have used it. It's very similar to the AVID model, if you've heard of that. And so what it does is it provides study skills for students. We're really excited as we look at that system for all of our students and our teachers. We think about our Collegiate Academy babies. Some of those are as young as 13 years old, and we want to make sure that we give them what they need. We want them to not only go to college, but to be able to finish. That curriculum we're very excited about, so all of our students and teachers will be well-versed in that, and that's just an extra layer of being able to support them. And so those are just some of the things. This year, we were able to look at partnering with the high school, and on those AP tests that those students are enrolled in those courses, we will work to be able to reduce those fees. We want to continue to be able to do that in future years. The test was $94 per test this year. And so the high school and the district worked together to reduce those fees as low as $19 for kids. So we have some kids that are in 4 AP courses, and if we weren't able to do that, they would have had to pay almost $100 times 4. And so parents have been grateful for that, and we appreciate you all for helping us to make those opportunities available. We intend to grow that in future years. So PSAT is another area we're focusing on. Again, another thing, I was at a training today, and we talked about PSAT and the fact that we're able to offer that to all of our 8th grade. Not all districts do that. Students have to pay for that, but Duncanville has made that available for all 8th grade students. We're excited about that. And so if you look at it, we've been doing it for 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students. And that is really helping parents to be able to take that barrier out. We're taking that data and building the skills for students to be better prepared for SAT and college. So we're excited about that, and we want to just see those numbers grow and grow. We're working on identifying teachers that we can help to align that and move more of the boot camp and training into our everyday classes. So those numbers, we expect to see those grow as we build teacher capacity and just identifying what that test looks like and how we can get our kids across that line. The Collegiate Academy, we're very excited. Ms. Thomas and I have been working on some things. She's come in, boots on the ground, ready to go. And some things that we're really focusing on as we fine-tune things to bring our next cohort in is we want to make sure that the instruction is rigorous and engaging, that there are relationships there that make those kids want to stay, make the parents want to stay with us. The intentional curriculum is there. We're aligning. We talked about PSAT, so we want to make sure that as we're teaching the TEACS, we make sure we relate those to PSAT and SAT so that our kids are successful on district assessments, state assessments, national assessments. We know we've talked to a lot of districts who are doing that, and we're excited about those things. Student confidence, we talked about that MAPS curriculum, and we want to build our students' confidence. We know what they can do, and we want to see them excel. And then making real-world connections. So we've got a lot of great things planned there for the kids, for the teachers, just to really make sure that as we move forward, the program just continues to gain momentum and get better and stronger. And last but not least, we're really excited about the Superintendent Scholars. Dr. Smith really wanted to make sure that we are identifying and motivating and honoring our students who are our top performers. And so our Superintendent Scholars, we're pulling from grades 8, 9, and 10, and those students are performing at the top of each of their grade levels on PSAT. So PSAT has benchmark scores, so if a student hits a certain score, they say that they're showing that they're college ready. we're pretty excited that even though we have those top percents in each of the classes, we still have a large number of students at 8th, 9th, and 10th grade that are showing that they're college ready. It's just that through the Superintendent Scholar, we're gonna highlight those top performing students. What's even more exciting is that across the summer and into early fall before our next PSAT assessment in October, we'll have the opportunity to work with quite a few more students, almost 200 students who are performing really well. And so the goal is that as we work with them through the PSAT and SAT boot camps, we'll start to see those scores increase and increase even more. And then as our teachers take that back to the classroom in October, we expect that I'll be going to Dr. Smith saying, we need more money. We have even more superintendent scholars in the spring of 2019 that we want to honor. So we're excited about that. We've got the PD embedded there for teachers who are going to work with them. And so the goal is to just build capacity and grow our students and grow our teachers in the coming years. And if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them for you at this time. Yes, ma'am.
With your identification process, if a parent wants their young child to be in Gait and the child does not meet your criteria for the identification process, what road does that child travel? Are they automatically in Gait or recommended for another?
There's an appeal process, and so what that parent would do, each campus has a Gait committee, and so what that parent would do is appeal to the campus and say, maybe we had extenuating circumstances. We've had times where maybe the kid was sick when we tested, and so we really try to include data from the parents. They have a survey that they complete to give us insight. We have insight from the teachers. And so we're open to all of that because we know sometimes kids just don't test well. We look at how they're doing in the classroom and all of those factors. And then we just work with the parent that way because if at all possible, we want to include those kids, but we don't want to set a kid up either. And so there are instances where we talk to the parent to see what their concerns are, and we're flexible because, again, we want to be inclusive and give the kid the best chance of success.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And did you say that in the elementary level, when they're identified, the instructional specialists pull them out of the classroom to do different activities with them once a week? Is that what you said?
The Gait Specialist, yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. The Gait Specialist does those specialized things, but our goal is that through building capacity of teachers, those teachers are doing some of those things as well when that specialist is not there.
Questions? Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our next item is about Dallas County Promise. Dr. Hernandez.
Again, President McNeely, we'll continue our conversation with Goal 1, focused on student learning. We've brought a conversation with you over the last few months about Dallas County Promise. This evening, you're going to hear from two individuals. First, from Shalante Payne, our Director of CTE and College and Career Readiness. You're also going to hear from Dr. Eric Ban, who is the Director of the Dallas County Promise. He's also going to be speaking to you about the program and then answer any of your questions that you may have on the program. Ms. Payne.
Good evening, President McNeely, members of the board, and Dr. Smith. I stand before you to provide you information and updates as it relates to the Dallas County Promise process. What is Dallas County Promise? Thanks to the unprecedented financial commitment from the Dallas County Community College District Foundation, all seniors, regardless of GPA or family income, of 31 high schools currently for the 17-18 school year will have the opportunity to earn a full tuition scholarship to earn an associate's degree, a success coach mentor, and success to additional transfer scholarships to attend partnering four-year universities, including SMU and UNT Dallas. So at the beginning of the year, I know there was a lot of questions on why is Duncanville not a part of Dallas County Promise? Why are our students not getting the opportunity to participate in this awesome opportunity? we were informed that the 31 schools were selected because they had designated early college high school campuses. So, in our quest to seek admissions into the Dallas County cohort, we were informed there would be an opportunity for a cohort 2. Cohort 2 was designed with a framework, an admissions process, and a screening process. So the original cohort was only having a designation. We as a committee and the district leadership team worked together in conjunction with the high school to create the framework application that was put in place by Dallas County Promise. On March 2nd, the application was released via email. On March 30th, we were required to submit a commitment letter with the signature from our high school principal and our superintendent, Dr. Smith. On March 30th, we submitted the framework for change. I am proud to stand before you tonight to inform you that Duncanville has been accepted as one of the districts for Cohort 2. Dallas County Cohort 2 leaders will consist of 10 school districts in conjunction with the 31 school districts that are already a part of the cohort. Dallas ISD, Carrollton Farmers Ranch ISD, Richardson ISD, Duncanville ISD, Garland ISD, and Grand Prairie ISD will be joining the 31 schools for a total of 43 high schools participating with 15,000 high school seniors. The framework, just to give you a little background, the framework for the district, we were required to gather information that we already are providing for our students currently, and the framework is an ongoing document. We will continue to work and design committees and teams as we look at the data, as we monitor the data, and put in place checkpoints for each individual assigned for ensuring that we are following what we have in fact submitted to the Dallas County Promise cohort. There are 5 components to the framework: college readiness, and as you can see, there's 2 measurements. The metrics, students taking SAT, ACT, TSI in grades 9, 10, and 11. At this current time, we are offering those tests to our students in the grades, in those particular grade levels. And then we also have to look at the remediation. What are we offering and what measures will we put in place, including college rating indicators like SAT, TSI courses from other institutes. We have already started to work with our high school principal to identify those measures that we will look at to assist our students. The second component is college readiness. All students will engage in ongoing career planning and advising in order to select an appropriate college and career readiness pathway. As you are aware, we have 15 of our career clusters that we offer in Duncanville with 27 pathways. Our students currently have an opportunity to receive certifications, at least at the minimum 45 certifications through our CTE program. We have aligned 5 of our programs directly to one of the DCCD institutes. Career experiences, all students will develop and demonstrate in-demand marketing skills by participating in a continuum of career exploration and work-based learning. We're currently working with the middle schools. We have the high school career prep course that's in place, which allows all of our students to explore work and career-related experiences, college experiences, and look at 4-year graduation plans. For the 18-19 school year, we will be adding 6-year plans into the 8th grade 4-year planning, meaning that our students will have an opportunity to look at the second layer after high school for the associate's degree level. 3 is college access. All students will develop an individualized college success plan that includes right college matches for students, career, academic, social, and financial needs, and college eligibility. I am happy to also Our college advisors are in the back of the room, Lucette Martinez and Jordan Keneal. These guys were very instrumental and still are with assisting us with FAFSA data, scholarship collection, application processes. We are happy to announce at this current date, Duncanville High School has completed 50% of FAFSA completion for our seniors. That is, for the last school year, we ended with 51% in June. So we're far and ahead of where we were this time last school year. We have also completed 72 Rising Star application submissions. Last school year, we submitted 19. The fourth is college performance. Again, that's looking at college credits. How many dual credit classes are we offering in both the content areas and the career and technical education courses, with a minimum of 15 college hours. Currently, our students, seniors, are averaging 12 hours of dual credit, with our top 50% averaging 30 hours of dual credit upon graduation from Duncanville High School. And our fifth component consists of data and evaluation. And that is looking at a system and putting a system in place where we can provide all this data from one area, provide dashboards, checkpoints for all stakeholders involved. And so, again, as Dr. Hernandez stated, we have Dr. Ban here, which is the managing director of Dallas County Promise, to share additional information as it relates to Dallas County Promise and what the next steps are for Duncanville ISD.
Thank you, Shalante, and President McNeely, members of the board, and Dr. Smith. We're just honored to be here and in an attempt to add value to the programming that you're already offering to your students. So we look at a true north goal of 60% of Dallas County citizens having a 2 or 4 year degree aligned to the needs of the North Texas workforce in order to drive economic development. But in reality, we had a problem that at Dallas County Community College Foundation, we weren't spending all the money that we were raising. And so the board members took a courageous step back and said, how should we do this to really get the biggest impact for our county? And so many leaders from Dallas County went up to Tennessee and really unpacked the Tennessee Promise. It was pretty inspirational. And so we took some operational teams up there, and the magic was universal access. So regardless of income or GPA, we go into school communities and saying everyone has a free tuition pathway to college completion, period, regardless of income or GPA. And that the clarity of that message is really powerful, and has proven to be powerful with our 31 high schools this year, and will continue to be powerful. So if you think about 10 school districts, basically the entire representing almost the entire county, 43 high schools, 15,000 high school seniors, over half of the county. That number by senior count is larger than 12 U.S. states. So, the Dallas County by high school senior count is the size of Arkansas in 800 square miles. So we have a significant opportunity. Dallas County educates 10% of Texas and 1% of the nation. So what we do has this impact in Texas and the nation, and we have a tremendous responsibility. As we came into Duncanville, you were the first to kind of push us and help us think about how to be better and improve. So our requirements really kind of line up one-to-one with your advanced academics presentation that you just heard. And so you're doing all the right things. And I think the fun part of this is let's do it together as a county and learn from one another, and help share those best practices in the service of kids in our community. So we're really privileged. Students will continue to have a direct assured pathway through a free tuition pathway through a bachelor's degree at University of North Texas, Dallas. So that's a pretty special opportunity for kids and families. And other universities are coming on. We've just, we have SMU has adjusted their scholarshiping strategy to help talk about 2+2 scholarships and partner with Dallas County Community Colleges. We had Prairie View A&M joined the Promise, and we're in planning calls with them on how that will work, and in the interest of simplifying this work for families and kids. So be happy to take any questions. Just, again, privileged to be here and adding value to the community.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next item is the update on our STEAM Academy.
Greetings again, President McNeely and group. The last presentation we have for you this evening is on our STEAM update. Dr. Crystal Rentz will be coming up and introducing this presentation and speaking to you about our initiative over at Kennemer Middle School for the fall of 2018. Dr. Rentz.
Good evening, President McNeely, board members, and Dr. Smith. It's an honor, and I come with excitement tonight to talk about the STEAM Academy at Kennemer Middle School. As I first came into the district, started to look around and ask questions, look at surveys to see what were the needs of not only the students in Duncanville ISD, but also North Texas as a whole. And you've heard already the two presentations before me, the words opportunity and choices and advanced and rigor. And those are all words that really tie into the STEAM Academy. We know that you can do it all at Duncanville High School. There are amazing things happening at Duncanville High School, but what can we do to help our parents and students at a younger age start seeing those choices before them so they could capitalize on those choices. And so we look at, writing success stories one student at a time, and kind of that phrase, by developing educational programs that speak the language of opportunity, being intentional with all of our programs that show them what they could do with this in the future, in the real world, as they continue on. Let me figure out this. So, of course, student success being our main goal and why we're here. And we're wanting to meet and exceed grade level, and I really see this STEAM opportunity in all of our choice programs and as an opportunity for our students to exceed. We do have the state minimum, but we want to take our students to that next level, and we want to prepare them for the post-secondary college and career readiness. And you've heard a lot with STEM. That's a very popular phrase that's out there. We've added the A in there, the STEAM. That's come around a little bit more in the past few years, but the reality is that a lot of our students in the U.S. do well with the STEM side, but it's the creativity that really sets the American students apart from other nations and where we've excelled. And so the A in STEAM is really to be how we find artful solutions to engineering and science and technology. And also in Duncanville, with so much pride that we have in our music and other arts, we want to make sure that we're providing that for them to do all under one framework. Our choice programs are really, again, that word all kind of keeps coming up because we really want that in Duncanville, but it's to ensure that all learners, not just the highest ability. We want to have programs for our advanced students, our GT students, but we want to make sure that all of our students have the opportunity to excel in areas that they're interested in and in areas that they are unique in. We want to offer them an opportunity to think about pathways. We know at the high school we have several different pathways and endorsements under HB5, and actually Duncanville High School does a phenomenal job. I've never seen anything like it in the other districts that I've been in. Usually students are only offered one or two options, maybe three pathways, but at Duncanville High School they can do so many. So we wanted to kind of look at that in the choice schools, and so we want to make programs of choice to attract students in a common pathway that are aligned to what they can have at Duncanville, as opposed to just doing a program and saying, I hope you enjoyed that 6th through 8th. Now maybe when you go to college you can study it. But instead getting them prepped and ready to go to the high school and letting them be high school ready as well. So our kids know what they want to do at the high school and they're able to do that. They're not behind. We're really looking at the whole child when it comes to STEAM, and you heard some of this in the Collegiate Academy. The reality is our students do come from varied backgrounds. We do have students that are at risk. Many of them are lacking some social-emotional learning skills. Quite frankly, some of our adults are lacking those, right? And so that the point of this is to make sure that we're looking at the whole child and realizing that if we just up the rigor, but we don't provide the supports, then we're not going to move the needle at all. So we're looking at social-emotional learning and working with CASEL's framework, with self-management, self-awareness, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. We can get our kiddos in grade 6 doing this at an early age and being aware of what's going on around them. A, they're going to be better students, more productive citizens, and have a better understanding of what they would like to do and what's reasonable and what they would be good at doing. Embedding in that the 21st century skills, the reality is most of the jobs that these sixth graders will have when they graduate aren't even in existence right now. So we need to prepare these kids to be ready for any type of future job that's out there in problem solving and technology and be advanced in those areas. And so this learning environment is going to allow students to combine and synthesize learning from multiple disciplines, develop interpersonal skills, increase creativity given the emphasis on arts integration, ensuring they're both college and career ready. There's multiple learning spaces when it comes to a STEAM Academy. We're not looking at doing a program that they go to their 4 subjects and then we have STEAM class. The idea is that it's all embedded together. We will be picking the best teachers out there that have a background in their craft and are willing to work and be flexible and figure out the best way to teach these students where it's all intertwined instead of just going to English. And then I go to social studies, but how do we make that all STEAM-based? And some of the ways that that's going to help us is the learning space. With the beautiful building, that extra wing over that was added on to Kennemer, it's a wonderful space. It makes the most sense. There are 19 classrooms over there. We're going to have a maker space, and that's just a place where students can come together and can create and tinker, solve problems, and they have a variety of tools at their hands, whether that be paper, whether that be a 3D printer. We're going to be partnering with SMU to make sure that our makerspace is high quality, but also purposeful. They're going to be working with us to build a great makerspace program. Flexible seating, as many of you I'm sure have seen in some of the newer buildings, the flexible seating providing students choice of seating, but also making the learning space more collaborative and more college-like. If you look at the Collegiate Academy, that's what a university looks like. That type of seating will happen at the STEAM Academy. With technology, making sure that we're staying ahead of the curve. Definitely we'll have 3D printers, and then looking at some of the items that we have at the high school that they would be able to use in those programs, and then bringing that down to the middle school so they go in with like an edge. We have submitted a 1-to-1 grant with TEA. We're still waiting to hear. Hopefully we'll be able to get 1-to-1 iPads for those kiddos. With that grant, if we don't get that, we do have a backup plan for them to have 1-to-1 ThinkPads. We want to ensure that all students in this program have an opportunity, an equal opportunity to succeed. If we're going to go more digital, then we need to ensure that the students have the tools necessary to be digital. And then collaborative work areas, really focusing on collaboration, but being intentional at the beginning of the 6th grade school year to teach students how to be collaborative before we just throw them into collaboration. So there's a lot of thought that goes behind this process. Getting kids prepared for high school, but also these 6th graders are getting prepared for middle school and taking that into consideration. One of the exciting things is when we get to the high school, we want the students to be able to do it all. In order to do that, the best way is to get them ahead of the curve. If they can earn up to 7.5 high school credits. And I say up to 7.5 high school credits because there may be some students who earn 3 credits. This was not a magnet program. Any student could be in the program. So you have varied levels of academic ability. However, truly believe if we look at the whole child, we will get some of these students high school credit and the middle school that may not have been down that track previously. You'll see that they'll earn a half a credit in 6th grade with the Project Lead the Way. And thankfully we got the grant that is allowing us to fund that for the first 2 years. They'll then exceed into getting another credit and a half in 7th grade, and then 8th grade, the opportunity to receive several credits. And again, we want to make sure we're working with students with that social emotional learning piece, that they understand what makes sense for them, right? Don't just sign up for all of it and hope for the best, but working with those kids one-on-one to see what classes make the most sense for them. A big part, and you heard in both the Ms. Payne and Dr. Bernard's presentation, is that SAT, TSI, ACT, although we don't want to be all about tests, we do need to prepare them for the future and what society and the collegiate, what they say is successful. So starting in grade 6, how we embed that type of preparation with the students, but as part of the curriculum, not as separate. Here's SAT time. So being, once again, intentional. Year 1, we'll have 135 students. Then we will add a 7th grade. Basically, these current 6th graders will then become the first 7th grade group. We'll be adding 135 each year till we have a total of 405 students on that wing, grades 6 through 8. Really excited to be partnering. The only way to really sustain these types of programs is to have healthy, robust partnerships, but partnerships that make sense. And so you know Project Lead the Way, we're going to be doing that, and you received information that we received a grant from both Verizon and Toyota, so we will be partnering with them. SMU is a big partnership for us. They have a new program they've had the last couple of years on makerspace education. They've agreed to work with us. We'll be the first middle school they've worked with hand in hand, so it will be at no charge to us. They are currently working with us and will continue to help us develop our program there. They will come out and observe our teachers and then give us feedback throughout the year, so it's not just a one-time get. So we're really excited about that opportunity. We have a partnership with Tata and 4-H that will be basically funding a 4-day bridge camp this summer in July where students will all come together, get to meet each other, and at the end of camp they will have developed an app for the STEAM Academy, an app that we will all be using for the next year. So it's very exciting to see the kids already at the start getting to create that. Our application, we did have many students, 181 current fifth graders applied. 162 of those were current DISD students, which made up 17% of the fifth graders, which I think was really telling for us to say students want choice. Like that's an important part. We had 19 students that were once Duncanville ISD students, but had left to go into charters and privates or other districts that have applied for the academy. What I'm really proud of, because it was very important, is to make sure that our applicants and our selected students mirrored and represented the district. We found from several districts nearby, they said, year one, it's gonna be really hard to get a good representation, so just, the first year, you're just gonna have to deal with it. It won't look like your district. Proud to say that it does. Economically disadvantaged, 64% of the students that applied were economically disadvantaged, meaning that we were able to get the word out that this is for anyone. It's a very exciting thing. If you look at the race and ethnicity, it's a little off, but pretty close to the representation of, and much closer to the fifth grade than the overall, with 43%, 0.6% male and 56% female, which is interesting because nationwide, STEAM and STEM, typically more males apply than females. And so you can see I put some things on there. I asked the parents on the application, and we made sure the application only took you 2 or 3 minutes to complete because we didn't want that to be a deterrent. It was open for anyone. The selection was done like a random lottery. And so many of the parents were saying, I just want my kid to have another opportunity. It's something they're interested in. I want them to be challenged. And looking at these students and where they are in their grades, it is a varying. It's not all your GT kids. We do have a very varied group of students, so I think we're going to gather a lot of data, which is going to help us move our district forward with the notion that we're not just going for a neat STEM program, we're going for a nationally recognized program, and we hope to change the face of education by saying that all students can learn given the right setting. So, any questions?
On the kids that go to the school, will they be able to pull out and go to like band, choir, and sports? Are they going to be contained in that school?
That's a great question. For grade 6, I worked with the choir and the band, and so we're going to have a beginner band and choir for them because that's what they typically do, beginner band and the intermediates. And then in grade 7 and 8, they know that they'll be in the Kennemer band and choir. And athletics, they'll be in Kennemer athletics. We built the schedule this year to mirror for them to be able to be in athletics for 7th and 8th. And that was explained and expressed very explicitly through the application process. And on May 1st, we'll have a parent orientation, which again, we will explain that in grade 6, it'll be beginner band and choir. Grade 7 and 8, you would be with the Kennemer band and choir and athletics, just due to sustainability purposes. Any other questions?
Thank you. Good job.
You.
We appreciate that.
Thank
Very
you.
good things going on in that department. Along with that, before we get to our last item, I want to have Ms. Brown introduce a new member that's going to be working with the STEAM program.
Before you again, to introduce you to our new dynamic leader for the STEAM Academy. We've already been putting him to work. So if Mr. Idle Mallard would please stand at this time to be recognized. He's our new academic dean at STEAM.
just want to say something that, and Dr. Smith and I, a few months ago, had this conversation that I personally think is so cool. And I was a counselor in this district. The thing that I think is so cool about what we're all doing right now and about this information session tonight is that we are re-emphasizing our gifted and talented program, and we're hiring Gait Specialists and people that are specialists in that area, and we're identifying those kids at a very young age and working with them. And to me, the STEAM, they can just move right into the STEAM with what they're interested in. And I've worked with those age kids, and they really don't know what they want, but it's an exploration time. And then that move, and we're emphasizing academics. You can do this. So many times in 9th grade when I was at the high school, those kids didn't look ahead, but we're starting it real early, and we're emphasizing that from day one. And then we're going to have, those kids can go collegiate or early college or just be successful and take the rigorous courses that they can be successful in regardless. So in the 2 years that Dr. Smith has been here, I am so proud of what he has done and what you all are doing. And I want, again, I say this all the time, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very proud.
Thank you.
Is there any communication? Okay, with no further information, this meeting is adjourned.